Get cozy everybody, because they will be playing a game called Sweetest Monster requested by It Doesn't Matter. So I've had this game for quite a while now. Somebody just, hey man, have you played this game? I'm like, hey, I have this in my library. So yeah, let's finally try it then. Sweetest Monster. I remember when great aunt Clarice was still alive. She had a black cat called Belle. Can I use the space button? Now that it isn't strictly true, great aunt Clarice didn't just have one cat over her long life. She had several. Maybe it's because she never had any children, I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, and diagnosing somebody after their death seems rather callous to me. Great aunt Clarice always loved cats. After the death of great uncle Albert, however, she began to dote on them more and more. She would sit them on her lap and talk to them, and she looked at them so intensely you would have thought she was waiting for a reply. It was kinda sad, now that I think about it. I didn't find it sad when I was little, though. I thought it was scary. I never liked going to see great aunt Clarice. She would sit in her armchair, bent double, back hunched, like the eponymous, okay, that's a word, bell ringer from Victor Hugo's famous novel, stroking her cats with her withered, ropey hands. Is that how you pronounce it? Eponymous? Eponymous. I guess she was your archetypal crazy cat lady. At her lowest point, she had 6 of the things, shedding hair around the house and dragging dead birds across the welcome mat in the kitchen. I don't remember much about her cats. I mean, they're just cats. You've seen one cat, you've seen them all, right? But Belle was different. I remember Belle. Okay. Belle was a black cat, proud and stately, her eyes greener than anything I'd ever seen before. She disliked people in general and would hiss and spit whenever unwanted fingers strayed too near to her glossy coat. She hissed at me, at mother, at father, and she definitely hissed at great aunt Clarice. When she was truly enraged, Belle would even try to scratch us. I can still remember how it felt when Belle's claws raked across the backs of my hands. I can still remember the ugly red welts she caused. She drew blood on more than one occasion. So maybe she'd have been called Rambo instead. Mother and father were upset, but great aunt Clarice simply tooted and said, well, what can you do? My parents, as may be expected, were not very happy about this laissez-faire response. As a result, they stopped visiting her for several weeks. They couldn't hold out for long, though. My mother probably felt guilty for storming out of her house like that, even though the welfare of her only son was at stake. But not really. I mean, I'm still alive and kicking, which is more than can be said for great aunt Clarice. Belle's violent assaults didn't leave any lasting scars. Not physically, mentally, I'm also doing fine, though I did become a primary school teacher, so you might think otherwise. But those scratches were hardly the worst things Belle did to me. I remember, I was playing with a model aeroplane. It wasn't anything special, certainly not electronic. All I could do was throw it, like a glorified frisbee, but I enjoyed it all the same. I was running through great aunt Clarice's overgrown jungle of a back garden, all uncut grass that reached past the ankles and old, dead apple trees that hadn't given any apples for years and years when I noticed it. Great aunt Clarice's garden is rather big. Was big, I should say, because the garden doesn't belong to her anymore. It had apple trees, like I said, but it also had a vegetable garden, a disused pen where great uncle Albert used to keep chickens, and a lake, a rather large lake lined with willow trees like something from a picture book. Like the lake in the beginning of Alice in Wonderland. Maybe I was channeling Alice myself that day, though I didn't rumble into Wonderland searching for white rabbits. Instead I, quite foolishly, looking back on it, fell headfirst into the lake whilst trying to save the life of a black cat. I heard a yowl and a loud splash when I turned, my plane forgotten. It landed on the ground and bounced a couple of times, but I hardly noticed. If you hardly noticed, how the hell did you know it bounced a couple of times? I was too busy staring out at the lake, staring at Belle. The old saying states that cats have 9 lives, but I wasn't naive enough to believe that, even at the age of 6. I'd already been to Great Uncle Albert's funeral, so I knew that when people died, they stayed in the ground and didn't get back up again. Belle did not have 9 lives. She only had 1 life, and it was precious. Belle had scratched me only a few months prior, and I didn't particularly like her, but I didn't want her to drown. That was why I decided to rescue her. I meant well, but as soon as it transpired, this was an incredibly stupid idea for several reasons. For one thing, I could not swim. Oh, great job, genius. For another, Belle could. Wait, what? Belle could? God damn it. Can't really remember what happened after that. This is where my memory goes foggy. All I have to rely on is hearsay from my parents and reports from doctors. They told me I almost drowned. I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel or anything, or if I did, I don't remember it. But there is something I do remember from that ordeal, splashing helplessly in the icy cold lake in Aunt Clarice's garden. I remember watching slowly drowning as Belle pulled herself out of the lake right before my eyes, rendering my rescue attempt null and void. Now I'm just guessing, but I imagine the last thought I had, right before I swallowed a mouthful of fetid water and lost consciousness was, "You really are an idiot." More than 30 years later, I don't think I've changed all that much. Just ask my wife, Sally. I'm still an idiot. Cool. May 11th, Tuesday. Sally doesn't like Arabella Waite, and I can't say I blame her. I don't think I like Arabella Waite all that much either. That being the case, it's strange Sally seems to be laboring under the entirely misguided apprehension that I might be having an affair with her. Why are you always so kind to that awful woman, Robin? I can't stand her. Then sit down over there. The two of us are sitting together in the living room, the curtains drawn literally, digitally, the TV buzzing in the background like a particularly lackadaisical swarm of bees. I'm not sure what we're supposed to be watching because I haven't been paying any attention. I think it's some kind of crime drama, but that would explain the stiff, lifeless corpse of a teenage girl sprawled across the TV screen, her hair wringing wet. Crime dramas have a strange fixation with dead girls, particularly drowned dead girls. Maybe they think it's edgy. Maybe they think it's sexy. The pre-Raphaelites, Raphaelites, okay, sure seem to think so, given their unhealthy obsession with poor Ophelia. Can't really comment on the sexiness or otherwise of this dead girl. She reminds me so much of Melly. Who the fuck is Melly? I know you can't stand her, Sal, but her money's worth just as much as anybody else's. Every little counts and all that. Don't regurgitate advertising jingles at me, Robin. Even if they're catchy. Even so. I don't think Sally's watching TV either. She's glaring at the wall, squeezing a cushion so tightly it would scream if it could. Why did she have to come and pick Annette up so early? She knows her piano lessons don't finish until 6:30. Maybe she's lonely. So she decides to invade our home and invite herself in for coffee? Well, I guess I was the one who invited her in for the coffee, but I didn't really have a choice. You could have told her to leave. I couldn't, Sal. Not when she'd come all this way. I'd have felt bad. So you'd feel bad about inconveniencing Arabella sodding Waite, but you don't have any sympathy for me. I had to listen to her banging on about her divorce for half an hour. I felt like I was going to go mad. Ouch, I'm sorry about that, Sally Pally. Try to give Sally a sympathetic look, but I'm not sure how much of an effect it's having. Sally isn't even looking at me. She's too busy seething. If you really were sorry, you wouldn't have dumped her on me like that. I'm a translator, not a professional entertainer. I know, I'm sorry about that, Sal. I really am. I didn't know what to do. I could hardly cut Annette's piano lesson short because her mother turned up too early. I bet she did it on purpose. It's because you're always so nice to her, Robin. You're too soft. I don't like the way Sally says nice. It sounds accusatory, like she's trying to frame me for a crime I haven't committed. It is true that Arabella Waite is fairly attractive as far as single mothers go, but she is also unarguably Arabella Waite. Arabella Waite's daughter, Annette, is a student at the school I work at. She's been having piano lessons with me for 2 years. My relationship with the charming Madame Waite, however, is strictly one of business. I hardly ever talk to her. Well, Arabella Waite tries to talk to me. I go along with it because that's more polite than ignoring her, as Sally would prefer. But I don't try to encourage conversation. Why would I? If I'm being brutally honest, I think Arabella Waite is something of a snob, and she's boring with it. I don't know why she gave her daughter such a fancy French name. Arabella Waite doesn't have a single French bone in her body. Though Arabella Waite's getting divorced, she's been in the process of getting divorced for more than 7 months now. I feel sorrier for Annette than for her. I think Annette's the kind of 9-year-old girl who's been forced to grow up far, far too quickly. She's less of a daughter to her mother than a constant live-in counselor. No wonder she's always so quiet during her piano lessons. I have to be nice to her, Sal. She's a paying customer, and she's going through a tough time. I know she's going through a tough time. I know all about that, Robin, because she told me. I'm in detail. She told me more than I would like to know. Well, Sally sniffs. If the way she looks at you is anything to go by, I have no doubts as to why her last husband packed his bags. You're being a tad judgmental, don't you think? I'm not being judgmental. I'm just saying it like it is. She's always been far too friendly with you. Perhaps, but it's not like I return her feelings, whatever they might be. I just want to help Annette pass her grade 4 piano exam. And that's why you went out for coffee with Arabella last week, is it? Because you wanted to help Annette? I sigh heavily. So we're back to this again, are we? I thought we'd exhausted this topic last night. We certainly went over it enough times. I hate the women at the ridiculous Keep Fit club Sally goes to. I swear, they don't even try to lose weight. From what I've gathered, they meet up every Monday solely so they can gossip. Mrs. Harris is the worst. I knew I was in hot water the moment I saw her enter Costa last Saturday, trying to console a crying Arabella Waite over my cappuccino. I already told you, Sal, I didn't want to go for a coffee with her. We just bumped into each other, and she suggested it. That's all. But you didn't need to agree with her. No, I didn't, but I think she needs somebody to talk to. The divorce must be pretty hard. She started crying, Sal. And I guess she needed a strong, handsome, already married, let me add, knight to sweep her off her feet. Come off it. What was I supposed to do? My heart isn't made of steel. But what about me, Robin? How do you think that made me feel? I wasn't thinking about you at the time, to be quite honest. I was more concerned about Arabella Waite smearing her mascara, which definitely was not waterproof, no matter what she said, down the front of my shirt. So you're telling me you gave her a hug too? Shit, I didn't mean to let that one slip. I'm such a smooth talker. Well, I think she might have hugged me first. And it wasn't a hug, not really. She was just trying to hide her face. Like I said, she was crying so much her makeup had started to run. Being hugged by her like being embraced by a depressed clown. It was an interesting experience, but not one I'm keen to relive anytime soon. That's so mean. Jesus Christ, I can't believe it. First, you invite her out for a coffee, and now you're telling me you've been letting her cry into your chest out in public? Why did she need to emphasize the out in public part? Isn't that better than embracing her in private? I don't understand women. Look, Sal, I know it sounds kinda bad, but it really wasn't like that. I'm not interested in her. Really, I'm not, even if she does wear all those low-cut shirts. That isn't the part that upsets me the most, though, Robin. That's not the real issue here. Damn, Sally sounds mad enough as it is, and this isn't the real issue? I dread to think what that might be. I'm disappointed in you. You said you were going to go out with me and Melly last Saturday. You promised. Ah, of course, Melly. I knew I was forgetting something. It was a good thing that something is only my daughter. Look, I know what I said, and I really did mean it. I just got distracted, that's all. Too busy trying to console poor Arabella, were we? That isn't it, Sally. I didn't know what to do. It wasn't only last week either. You've been promising Melly you'll have a day out with her for almost a month, and you still haven't. Just what is so pressing that you cannot put one measly day aside for your daughter? I know it's shoddy behavior. I really am sorry. I've just been busy. Busy? How busy can you be? You're a music teacher at a primary school. It's hardly rocket science. It's not science at all. It's not even a proper subject. Oh, now Sally's done it. I love her and all. I kinda have to since she's my wife, but I'm tired of hearing this shit about my job day in, day out. Even Arabella bleeding weight got on my case about it last Saturday in Costa, in between all her tears. Oh, I envy you, Rob. Wait, why does it say Arabella? Wait. Oh, I envy you, Robin, working at a primary school, doing music too. It must be so relaxing making a living out of something you're passionate about. Toiling away in an office all these years has really started to grind me down. I guess you wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Yeah, right, because trying to stop a class of 5-year-olds hitting each other over the heads with their recorders is so much fun. I'm living the dream here, folks. For your information, Sally, music is a proper subject, and my job is a proper job. It's more proper than yours. At least I actually leave the house. Sally stares at me, her face a pale death mask. What was that, Robin? What did you just say? I know I've gone too far, but I can't back down now. It's already too late. In for a penny, in for a pound. I said my job is more proper than yours. Unlike you, I can't sit on my backside all day with the TV on in the background. How dare you say that to me? Just because I work from home, it doesn't mean my job is any less real than yours. Besides, music is nothing more than a hobby. It's not important, not in the grand scheme of things. Music is necessary, no matter what you say. Being able to play an instrument is an important life skill. And that's why you stopped trying to teach Melly, is it? Because it's such an important life skill? I stopped for Melly's sake. She hated it. I just don't think the piano is for her, and I have other students to teach, so you'll teach them, but not Melly. Not our daughter? I wonder why. I'm sure money has nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. Sally, are you dumb or something? Money has something to do with it. You need to live without money and stuff. How the fuck are you supposed to pay the bills without the fucking money, you idiot? Don't you Sally me. You're in the wrong and you know it. That's why you've gone quiet. It's because you know you've done something you should feel guilty about. Sally looks at me with undisguised disgust. She might as well be examining a cockroach. I feel just as welcome. I'm going to sleep. Don't even think about coming to my bedroom tonight. I don't want to see your face. My bedroom? What's with that possessive? I did pay for half of the house. Nice selective memory there, Sal. With that, Sally storms up the stairs, her messy bun bouncing. I watch as she ascends, slamming one foot after the other with more force than necessary. I can't see her face, but her posture makes her feelings more than evident. Don't follow me. If you do, you're dead. I sigh, rubbing the back of my neck with one hand. Don't worry about that, Sal. I wasn't planning on it. I might have almost drowned when I was a kid, but I'm not suicidal. There's a river a short walk away from my house. Oh, sorry, not my house. Mine and Sally's. It would be a little hypocritical of me to call Sally out for laying single-handed claim to our bedroom and then do the same thing about our home, wouldn't it? Let me try that again. There's a river a short walk away from our house, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. The river isn't pretty by any stretch of the imagination, hardly something to wax poetic over. Even the greatest of romantics would struggle to say something nice about it. The river is dark brown, choked with mud and dirt, and people use it as a kind of communal dustbin, ignoring the real bins that exist for that very purpose. It's usually filled with broken beer bottles, carrier bags from nearby supermarkets, and fast food containers. It's not a pleasant sight. Once I saw a sofa soaking in there, unmoved by the torrents of muddy water that rushed at it. It isn't rare to see shopping trolleys basking in those murky depths, shallows more like, their motionless wheels aloft in the air. I don't envy the guys who have dredged all that shit back out of that river. It must be a rotten job, far worse than mine. Most people, my wife included, look vaguely amused when I tell them I teach music in a primary school. So you play around with tambourines and castanets all day? But at least being a teacher is a respectable job. Semi-respectable? It's proper. Not like lake dredgers or whatever their official name is. Do they even have an official name? At any rate, though this river is hardly a picturesque point of local interest, more like an eyesore, everybody says. I still like it. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the sound of the rushing water. Maybe it's because of the silence. Something relaxing. Unlike in the fucking house I live. So much, so much fighting, so much yapping. It's strange that I like this river so much since I almost drowned in my youth, but that's never really bothered me. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I guess. So, as I always do when I'm feeling unsettled, which has been more and more frequently as of late, I find myself standing on that bridge, overlooking the surface of the river. It's a dark night and the water doesn't look brown, as it usually does. It's black like ink, the skeleton of a shopping trolley sticking out of its muddy banks. There would be a shopping trolley. There always is. I suppose it's comforting in a way. Some things never change. Not like my relationship with Sally. That's changed a hell of a lot. It happened so gradually, too. I didn't even realize how much it had deteriorated until... Until what? I don't want to say until it was too late, because that sounds horribly... How do you pronounce that? Maudlin? But... I sigh, resting my hands against the rough iron railings. The iron is cold, chilled by the biting wind, and my finger spasms. If I stare for too long, I'm going to catch a cold. I know that, but I can't bring myself to move. I continue to stand there, frozen, staring into the river. The water parts when it hits the shopping trolley, swirling about it in circles. Did I just feel a spot of moisture on my head? Great. The rain starts to fall from the sky in a fine mist, light and ephemeral. Well, not that ephemeral. I'm still getting wet. I should go. I've dallied here long enough, lost in my self-indulgent thoughts. Sally might be getting worried. Then again, maybe not. I wonder. If I slip and fall over the guardrail, would Sally mind? Would Melly? Maybe Arabella Wade would, but I don't care what she thinks. Sally's right. I haven't been spending enough time with Melly. I only ever see her at dinner, when we sit together at the table, lost inside our own respective silences. Happy families. She doesn't talk to me, doesn't even look at me. I'm not sure why I called her Melody. It's a big name to live up to, with a lot of unspoken hopes and dreams mixed in. That was my first mistake. I turn, ready to make my weary way back home when... Guess who? My vision is suddenly obscured by a darkness even darker than that of the night sky. Breath glides across my ear and laughter, obviously female, dances about me. There's something pressed against my back, hands held over my eyes. They're doing that childish game you see kids participate in the playground. I never thought I'd be on the receiving end of such a gesture. Who is it? How many young girls do I even know? Maybe it's one of my students, Mrs. Cartwright's Enid, perhaps, but Enid would never do something like this. She's far too shy. Not as shy as Melly, but shy enough. What about my other students, then? Laura, Jessica, Cornelia? No, and no again. Laura is quite a chatterbox, but she'd never be this informal with me. Jessica spends most of her piano lessons staring up at the ceiling. Cornelia's family is from Poland, and though she's fluent in English, she has quite a strong accent. It isn't those girls. Why would it be? I'm not that close to any of my students. Who else could it be, then? I think you've got the wrong person. Can you let go of me, please? I expect a sudden intake of breath, a frantic step backwards, a wide-eyed apology, but it never comes. The girl only giggles. Her hands remain stubbornly in place, unmoved. Oh no, I definitely don't. I know it's you. I know it was you even if my eyes were pecked out by crows. Crows? If we really do know each other, could you at least let me see your face so I can confirm it? But that's no fun. I wanted you to guess. I've always been bad at guessing games. Suit yourself, but that's so boring. The girl steps back, drawing her hands away from my eyes. I turn, the wind and rain stinging my cheeks, and frown. I don't know what I'm expecting. For some reason, my heart is beating, just a little louder than usual. Adrenaline? It isn't every day you encounter a mysterious young girl on a bridge in the dark. The situation sounds like something from a novel. What kind of novel? I haven't decided yet. I'll make up my mind when I see her face. If she has long black hair and pale skin, it's probably a horror story. If she has a blonde hair and blue eyes, maybe a romance. But as it turns out, the mystery girl is a mixture of both. She's short, far shorter than me. Well, I knew that already since I could feel her breath against the base of my neck when she held her hands against my eyes. But I still don't know who she is. At least I don't think I do. There's something vaguely familiar about her face, the shape of her nose, the arc of her eyebrows, but these points are nebulous, difficult to pin down with any kind of clarity. Her hair is dark, cut into a neat bob. Her eyes are bright green, and a small mischievous smile plays across her face like a cat that's just caught a mouse. Would that make me the mouse? For some inexplicable reason, I feel a chill go down my spine, not because of the cold. There's something odd about this girl, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Something uncannily familiar, but disconcertingly alien. But I don't know her. I'm sure I don't know her. If I'd met somebody with bright green eyes like that, flickering like a halogen lamps, I think I would remember. Normal people don't have eyes like that. I'm sorry, but I really don't think we've met before. This must be some kind of mistake. And I already said that it isn't. I know you anywhere, Robin Hawkins. So she knows my name. How does she know my name? But she doesn't answer my question. She can't. I forgot to say it out loud. Interesting. She takes one step forward and peers up at me. Her eyes are large, all-encompassing, like twin gas planets. My heart starts to pound. I feel dizzy. I was waiting for you for such a long time. I want to tell you something really important. Oh, I think I'm in love with you. So saying, the girl stands at the tips of her toes and presses a soft kiss against my cheek. Her movements are so gentle and tender I could almost kid myself into believing we're estranged lovers, reunited on this bridge for the first time in 15 years. But that can't be. I don't know how old this girl is, but there's a good chance she might not even be 15 yet. As for myself, I've been married to Sally for longer than that. The thought of Sally is enough to pull me back to my senses, more effective than a slap across the face. I'm sorry, but... Is this the highly esteemed goth mummy chick that I've heard people mention about? I want a goth mommy girlfriend, whatever. I guess she kind of looks goth because of the black clothes and dark stuff. Yeah. I take hold of the girl's shoulders, frighteningly bony, and push her away. She's Belle. She doesn't look surprised by my manhandling, woman handling, teenage handling. Help me out here. Instead, she stares at me, eyes unblinking. To be honest, it's kind of unnerving. I can't deny that I'm flattered by the attention. What middle-aged man wouldn't be? But at the same time, I'm confused, anxious, and more than that, a little disturbed. Ooh, my throat hurts. What on earth was that all about? Why? Just who are you anyway? Are you gonna answer or what? Don't you remember? I thought that might jog your memory, but not that we've ever kissed before. That would have been weird. I really don't know. One of my old students? Do you usually let your students kiss you? Of course not. Good, I'm so happy I'm the only one. I can get awfully jealous, you know. But that doesn't help me out. I still don't know why. Alright, fine. I see we're not going to get anywhere without a bit of a push. She smiles, her eyes sparkling like precious jewels. First hydrogen planets, now jewels. This girl's eyes are an ever-changing mystery, a source of so many possible similes. They've almost taken on mythic properties. It's inevitable. I've never seen a person with eyes like these before. In that case, there's just no way. How can that be possible? But it is. I step backwards. My back collides against the wrought iron railings, and cold seeps through my jacket into my skin. I'm still getting rained on, goddammit. The girl stands in front of me, smiling coyly, as though she hasn't done something shocking. There, growing right out of her scalp, are a pair of ears, a set of twitching black ears lined with white fur that tremble in the cold. Cat's ears. Cat's eyes. A cat's tail too, peeking out beneath the hem of her dress. This must be a dream. This has to be a dream. The sudden kiss should have been enough of a giveaway, but the scene playing out before my eyes has transcended the border of possible but improbable and right into the congratulations, you've gone insane territory. Maybe I've been outside longer than I thought. It must be cold. I'm seeing things. Oh shit. And I'm seeing that I have to stop here now because I have to prepare for work. So this is Sweetest Monster. What the fuck are we gonna do? We're married. I have a daughter. But now there are women coming after me? Why? I'm married and stuff. If you want to try the game for yourselves, the links are in the description. That is all for today. Stay safe and take care of yourselves. This is getting interesting. Oh no, affair? What a whore. What a man whore we are.